Hey guys, welcome to this week's live event. Waiting for everybody to get jumping in here. This week we are covering the Niyamas. What are the Niyamas? Well, last week, just to recap, last week we did what are the yamas. So in Ashtanga yoga, there's 8 steps to practicing yoga. There's the ethical observations. These are the yamas we covered last week: non-violence, ahimsa, satya, honesty, astya, non-stealing, brahmacharya, all things in moderation, apagrara, I can never say that one right, or non-possessiveness. This week, we're focusing on the niyamas. These are self-observations that are really, really important to practice in yoga. These 2 steps, the yamas and the niyamas, are actually pre-yoga postures. So you practice these things before you can even, before you should even get into the physical aspects of yoga. So we're just doing some basic beginner stuff here. We're studying the ethical observations, and now we're going to move into the self-observations and really understand what they mean. And the beautiful thing about these observations is they're universal to any culture and any religion. They don't care what color your skin is or what gender you are. All they care about is observing one's self. So the first one we will go into is Saucha. This is called hygiene. Not just physical hygiene, but moral hygiene and spiritual hygiene. So there's inner cleanliness and outer cleanliness. Many people have this common misconception that yogis are dirty, stinky hippies. But actually, traditional yoga says that hygiene is very, very important. It's part of our daily practice. In Ayurveda, we call it dinacharya. Dinacharya is our daily rituals, daily cleansing rituals, and these are also part of a spiritual practice. So we're cleansing the body to be a better catalyst for spirituality. So we are treating the body actually really, really well, because a clean body is a better conduit for positive vibes. Does that make sense? So typically what happens is some people, they get on the spiritually awakened path, or they become woke, and they just decide to stop showering or wearing deodorant or things of that nature. One of the things that was really important to practicing yoga itself is Saucha, is hygiene. So washing your hair, we don't have to wash our hair every day, but washing the body every day, washing our face, brushing our teeth, these are all part of dinacharya. Give you a little bit of instance for me. Showering every day is important, washing my face every day, brushing my teeth twice a day, tongue scraping twice a day. So just because I'm a yogi or yoga practitioner does not mean that I give up, or that you have to give up any of your hygiene practices. In fact, it's highly, highly encouraged. So inner hygiene would be to prevent the negative streams of thought that kind of come into our head, those negative things of self-doubt. So calling ourselves things like I'm stupid, or I'm dumb, or I'm lame, or, right? When we say those things about ourselves, that is causing inner filth in our mind. Those negative vibrations are causing inner yuckiness. We don't need to be doing that. Then next, let's move into Santosha. Santosha is contentment. So being content in where you're at now, not necessarily settling. You're not settling for less or anything like that, but being content with what you have in the moment and being grateful for what we already have. Living a life of abundance, like say we want to complain, oh, my house is too small, or my car is too slow, or my clothes are too dingy. Instead, we turn that around and we say, actually, I'm really, really grateful for all that I have right now. I live in abundance. My life is great. My apartment's great. My car is great. My clothes are great. I'm great. I'm content, right? So when we live in that world of contentment, we are not living the scarcity mindset, and the scarcity mindset is actually what brings on more negative in our life. So the law of attraction, if anybody who's out there who's watched The Secret on Netflix, the more negative we put out there, the more the universe hears us and says, oh, you want more negative? And it gives you more negative, right? Law of attraction. So we're putting out the positive vibes in there and saying, I'm really content in my life, and anything that comes into my life just adds to an already amazing life. One thing that drives me absolutely bonkers about American culture is we have no idea how good we actually have it. Even our poverty in the US is still beyond some of the poverty that I've seen in third world countries, and people live in this poverty nonstop, and people are happy outside of the States. Like when you go to India, everybody's smiling and happy, and they party. They have giant beautiful festivals pretty much every week in India, and just because they're living in abject poverty doesn't mean that they're not happy people. So it's one of those things, like, we need to start taking that silver spoon out of our mouth and realizing that we have it really great. Even our low income lifestyles, it's still, we can turn on our faucet and have running water directly to us. We don't have to go to a well a mile away and bring buckets back every day. We have washers and dryers, we have dishwashers, we have things that help us cook our food, like stoves and electricity, right? So being more content and grateful for what you already have will just bring on more positive things in your life. So keep that in mind. That's also a yogic practice known as Santosha. So we don't want to come from a place like we're feeling of lack. Then there's Tapas. Tapas is austerity, and also known as fiery cleansing. And this is, I love how this says, every painful experience is an opportunity to let go and detach from sensory perception. So we look at all failures as a gift. We look at all negative things that come into our life and we say, wow, what did I learn from that? Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God. Thank you, Yahweh. Thank you, Allah. Whatever deities you worship, show them some gratitude. If you don't worship deities, if you're into atheism, then be grateful for the earth. Be grateful for the farmer who brought the food to you. And be grateful for, even if things don't go your way, we want to make sure that even painful experiences are an opportunity for growth and for change, right? There's a lot of people out there who are afraid of that word, change and growth and evolution. And they go, okay, I don't have to change, the world has to change. That's a very, very sad way to look at life. It's saying everybody else has the problem and I'm perfect the way I am, I don't need to change. When in all reality, we can all do well with a little bit of change in our life. And it starts internally. So svadhyaya, study of yourself in relationship to the body, mind, and soul. So self-realization is the next step in the niyamas of yoga. So instead, and that kind of goes back to what I was just saying, instead of pointing the finger of blame and saying you, everybody else is the problem, and completely externalizing everything in our life, remember that every time we have a finger pointing, we got 3 more fingers pointing back at us, right? So instead of wasting energy placing blame on other people, Instead, we got to look within 3 times as much, 3 times harder, and become self-aware of our own shortcomings. Not to beat ourselves up and not to live in the past, but to know, okay, here's where my shortcoming is. What can I do to make that change? How can I evolve into a higher state of consciousness? Right? By becoming self-aware, self-realization. I know I was a big fan of the Terminator series growing up. Like Terminator 2, like that was really big when I came out. Or that I was young and it was really big when it came out when I was a child. And they talk about how the machines became self-aware, right? And they started taking over the human race. We can do that ourselves as human beings, becoming more self-aware and not self-conscious in a negative way, but self-conscious in a positive way. For example, let's say for instance, I don't use my blinker when I'm driving. Instead of getting mad at the person behind me who's honking, or the person in front of me who's like going like this when I'm turning and they had no idea, or instead of getting mad at the person that pulled out in front of me, maybe instead I can go, oh, well, maybe if I turned my blinker on, then that person would have been more aware of where I was going. And I was more consciously appreciative and considerate for that other person and turning my blinker on when I drive, right? Nobody likes that jerk who never turns his blinker on. Like, come on, be considerate, communicate. So have some self-realization. Instead of placing blame for everything that's external happening to you, to us. Take responsibility for your actions as well. Become very self-aware. The last one is Ishvara Pradhyana, surrender to the universe. Devotion to God, or alignment with the universe, right? So there's this whole concept behind surrender that can be very triggering for some people to hear that word surrender, especially in terms of things like sexual assault, right? We don't want to surrender in those cases, but in some instances, it's really important to learn to let go and surrender to the universe and say, you know what, I'm going to keep moving forward and I'm going to let things happen and let things unfold the way that God intends, the way that Allah intends, the way that Ishvara intends, whatever form of word you want to use for your higher power. You kind of have that relationship where you just let go of control and let go of the fact that we really can't control the outcome, but we can control the intentions behind what we do. And if what we're doing comes from a place of good intentions, then that karma will keep moving the momentum forward in our lives, right? So surrender to the absolute truth of life and surrender to the world. We can say your car catches on fire. You're not going to sit in the car and hope that the flames go out, right? No, you're going to get out of the car and you're going to go, oh man, like you can call 911 and the firefighters come in handy, but at the same time, it's just like you kind of have to like surrender to the universe at that point and say, I kind of had to get out of that burning car and just let it happen. Like, there's nothing you can do. Just let it go. Let it go, right? So same goes with our lives. If your life is kind of starting to feel like a burning car, get out of the car. Call for help. And it's not selfish to ask for help. Okay? So I'm going to leave the floor open for any questions. I did not have too many live audience here, but just a selfless plug for any of those who are in the local area who are interested in what we're doing here at D-Rock Wellness. Just know that we are converting the D-Rock method of weight management into an app-based platform, and we'll be launching that app in September 15th of this year, 2021. We'll be having a local lunchtime launch party, and there we will be having our ceremonial ribbon cutting with the Greater Idaho Falls Chamber of Commerce. So it's a free event. There will be free drinks and food and prizes and swag and giveaways and all that fun stuff. We're gonna have to limit the food and drinks to 40 people, but people can come and go if we run out of foods. I apologize. So make sure you get there early to get your free food. Right now we've got our lovely local shout out to Unstoppable Nutrition here. Love their drinks. The intention is that they're going to be providing the beverage service. We're still getting pinned down on the cater, but we'll be having the event at the Sagebrush Studio here in the historic downtown of Idaho Falls. So we will be off of 419 Park Avenue, next to it's right near Snakebite. So come on down. It'll be at noon, and we look forward to seeing you guys all there. I can't wait. I'm so excited. We're also looking for local sponsors for the event, local businesses or donors. I'll leave a link in the comments for the GoFundMe for the sponsorship, or we can also send Venmo payments at D-Rock Wellness. And I really do hope you guys enjoyed this little video and have a great day. Make sure you leave your questions in the comments when I post the replay, and I'll do my best to answer them through the comments, since we didn't have as many participants this week, but we'll still be posting the replays of these lives on the D-Rock Wellness Tribe group, the free group. So let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will see you at the next live.